everybody, Brandon here from SnowmodRC. Today I want to talk a little bit about motor temperatures and your car getting hot. Now, a lot of people have problems with heat. Now, heat is not always a bad thing, and we'll get to that in a second. But first off, let you know right away, this isn't my experience. You may or may not agree, but it's a good few rules for you, or guidelines or tips for you to follow to make sure that your car is not getting too hot. Here in my hand I have the Axial Racing 35 turn motor. Now these brushed motors can handle upwards of about 170 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 80 degrees Celsius. So they can handle some heat, so don't worry about them getting too hot, too much, to a point of course. The Axial motors have this cool little, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's actually a little fan inside here, so while everything is spinning, it's actually pushing the heat out, so these actually cool themselves really well. Not all motors have this. If you grab, for say, let's say a RC 4-wheel drive 35 turn motor, it will not have that fan inside there, so that is a good help. The other thing that affects motor temps a lot is gearing. Okay, so a lot of people will just immediately, oh, my car runs hot, I'll change my gearing and hope for the best. And that's fine. Drop a pinion tooth, gain a little bit more torque, lower your speed, carry the weight of your car a little better, and so on and so forth. And that is an option. But one thing to consider when you are tuning your motors and trying to get rid of heat is consider how you are driving. If you are spinning the tires constantly, if you are full throttle constantly, if you are slip grab constantly, if you are holding the rig on a hillside, you know, holding it there with the brakes, just a little bit of throttle just to make it sit there, the longer you hold that load still, not only are you going to burn up your motor, but it's going to get really hot real quick. So don't always assume that gearing is the trouble. A lot of times it could just be how you were driving that day. It could have been the terrain. It could have been your trigger finger. You were a little excited that day. There are many other factors to consider with motor heat other than just your gearing. The first place I start is my driving. If I feel it getting hot, I will basically unload the car. I will spin everything and make sure everything, the axles, the transmission, everything is spinning properly and freely and nicely how it's supposed to. If that is okay, my next step is to obviously check brushes in the motor. If it's a new motor, probably don't have to worry about that. If you've had your motor in it for a while and you've gotten it really dirty, the motor may be the issue. It may be getting too much resistance as the brushes wear and creating more heat. So these are all things you need to think about. It's not just about the motor, and it's not just about gearing. A lot of temperature is how you're driving and what you're driving on. So I hope you find that useful. Troubleshoot your heat. Don't just switch gearing. You may love how your car runs and you drop that pinion or raise that pinion or drop or raise the spur, however you decide to do it. I prefer to do pinions. They're a little bit easier, and I have a bit more of them laying around than I do spurs. So that is my method for all of this. Hopefully you found this useful, and yeah, Axial Fest is right on the horizon, which is what triggered this video. I wanted to make sure that some people who may be newer to the hobby can make their motor last all week. I have never burnt up a motor at Axial Fest. I'm not saying it's not possible, but if you tune your car right, take your time, watch how you're driving, you can make these little brush motors last a long time. Hope you found the video useful. If you did, please go down and hit that like or subscribe, as it is greatly appreciated. Again, this is Brandon from SnowmodRC. Go out there and find your limits.